Hey, good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. Let's get open for business here on Don't Sleep on the Dallas Cowboys because you literally cannot sleep on the Dallas Cowboys because things happen late in the evening, late at night, first thing in the morning, actually all damn day. So you want to keep up to speed with all that is America's team, and I got to tell you, um, wow! I finally had time to digest the Amari Cooper trade and think about it because when you start talking about giving up a number one pick, that's a lot to give up for any player. So you got to be sure of what you're getting. And we've been down this road before because we did two number ones for Joey Galloway. He tore his ACL, didn't help us. We had a number one, a third, and a sixth for Roy Williams, and he was gone a couple years later. Didn't really bust a grape while he was here. So it didn't work out. So as you look at this, you wonder, hmm, first of all, why? Well, I'll give you the easy answer right here. One, this was a lifeline to Jason Garrett. Jerry Jones so much wants Jason Garrett to succeed that he'll do anything to make him succeed. And they're admitting that they screwed up. That their whole approach to the wide receiver core was, Des Bryant is the reason why we're not doing it. We'll be better off with a bunch of guys that we can just pass around. We'll throw, this guy, that guy, and everything else, and it'll work out. Well, clearly they were 100% wrong. Flat out. It didn't work. You didn't have enough consistency with the guys, you know, that you have one guy that you know how to get open, throw to on a consistent basis. The whole approach of having all of these different guys out there, there's no consistency. There's no rhythm to the game. And I kind of equate it to if you look back at the Cowboys, before their first Super Bowl, they had Craig Morton, who was the quarterback who took him to the Super Bowl against the Colts and lost. And then you had Roger Staubach. And believe it or not, Tom Landry was not sure which one of these guys was going to be a starter. He literally alternated series between them. One would go out, do three plays, and the next one would come in and do three plays. He actually did that in the game. Problem was, it failed. There was no rhythm to it. Second problem is we don't have somebody that scares the defenses. Defenses aren't worried about Allen Hurns or Thompson, things like that. They're beginning to worry about Gallup after this week. But you can cheat in and help to support stopping the run. And when you look at the NFC right now, here is my thinking of what I think Jerry Jones is looking at. The Redskins right now, they're the cream of the division. 4-2. But are you really sold on the Redskins? Yeah. The Eagles, the Super Bowl champs, 3-4, just like us. Not anywhere near where they used to be. You take a look out west. You've got the Rams, of course, who are 7-0. But after that, 3-3 for the Seahawks. You go out to the north. You get the Vikings, 4-2-1. But after that, 3-2-1, 3-3, 3-3. Then you go to the NFC South, 5-1. Of course, the Saints, cream of the NFC. You got the Panthers at 4-2, and the Bucks at 3-3, and then Falcons at 3-4. So when you look at that, everybody is all in that 3-win range. You see that? Everybody. It's a race for the wild cards, well, and or the division lead. You've got the number 3 rated defense in the NFL right now. You got a great defense. Your offense, you've got a great running back. The jury's out on the quarterback, but you're not exactly giving him tools to work with. So the idea is if our offense can just do a little bit better because we're not getting blown out. a field goal here and a field goal there, all of a sudden our record is different. Maybe if we have somebody who can go over the top, it'll be a difference in the offense. All right, so the good news, his salary for this year is only $440,000. The bad news is the Raiders picked up his fifth-year option, which is fully guaranteed, which is $13 million for next year. If he's on the roster at the beginning of the league year, we're on the chain for that $13 million, and he's going to want to get an extension, which is the incentive that you want. A lot of people are like, man, his numbers went down the last, season and a half. Well, yeah, they did. Take a look at the Raiders in general. Remember, they fired their coach. They brought in John Gruden, who's gutting the team. Do you expect his numbers to stay up there high? Because Derek Carr's numbers have gone down the toilet as well. Everybody on there has gone down the toilet as well. So that's to be expected. And I'll equate it to something that happened in the very recent past. We had Darren McFadden, who everybody said was washed up with the Raiders. His last 3 years, he averaged 3.3, 3.4 yards a carry. And when the Cowboys ended up picking him up, they're like, he's done. And I said, wait a minute. Take a look at what everybody else is doing on that roster running-wise. Nobody was doing anything. The offensive line was terrible. The offense was terrible. And he came to Dallas behind that offensive line and went from 3.4 to, I think, 4.6. In fact, even during the 2015 season, which was putrid for us, we still had the fourth-ranked offense rushing in the NFL. Still got over 1,000 yards and didn't start until week 4. So you looked at that guy saying he's done, he's got nothing left, but it was the situation that they were in. The team was putrid. So age-wise, hell, he's only 6 months older than Calvin Ridley, and he's got 2 Pro Bowl seasons under his belt. And the thing about drafting wide receivers, generally speaking, it takes them a year or two before they really develop. Very few of them come out becoming Pro Bowlers. The list is very short. I mean, it's him, there's Odell Beckham, but there's not a lot of other guys that you're going to get immediately. So age-wise, you look at it and say, okay, he's young enough that he's going to be around for several years. You're going to probably have to pay him, of course, after next year if he works out. And this may be a boost for the offense that may get you into the playoffs and, if you're Jerry Jones, save your son, Jason Garrett's job. So from that respect, I think it was a good move. I think that's one of those ones that's a risk that was worth taking. Now, what this also says is, for all of you out there who absolutely positively hate Dak Prescott, guess what? He's not going anywhere this year, and he's not going anywhere next year, because now you're not even going to be in a position to try and grab one of those high draft picks. You don't have a first-round pick to trade to try and move up and package up. And saying basically that you're going to take a 2020 or the 2021 and try and move up in the draft, those teams are looking for something in a bang right now. So that would be very, very difficult if you're saying we need to go ahead and get an elite quarterback. As far as signing other quarterbacks out there, they're going to cost you an arm and 3 legs. Look what Kirk Cousins cost. Look what Jimmy Garoppolo cost out there. So the best thing you can do with this team right now is work with what you got. I don't know if Jason Garrett will be here next year, but I hope that Scott Linehan and Kellen Moore are not the guys that are taking care of this offense. You need and should, by all rights, give Dak Prescott every opportunity to succeed because it benefits you the most. If you can make him a quarterback that can win, you don't have to go out and buy a quarterback. You don't have to move up in the draft and trade for one. I'm not saying that Dak Prescott is a great quarterback right now. There's issues. He's missing some opening reads. Play breaks down. He's, losing his mechanics of things. And the offense is not settled. But I've used this example over and over again. You could look at this team as being the Rams just a couple of years ago with Jeff Fisher in charge, Jared Goff looking like straight garbage until they got a different coach. Get somebody in here to work with his mechanics. Get somebody in here who's got a little more innovation than Scott Linehan. And I guarantee you, with an Amari Cooper, a Zeke Elliott, you're going to be able to make some damage. So we'll have to wait and see how all this works out. But let's get a little clip here from NFL Network and see what they think about the move. Maybe not.
Star who could be traded within the next handful of days. And yes, the brother of the quarterback of the Oakland Raiders.
So
will
dramatic.
Get to that side of things in just a second. But let's start with the Dallas Cowboys. They made the move to acquire the player for today, for this year. It's a position of need. He's been a star player in recent seasons. Willie, what does this do for the Dallas Cowboys?
Well, hopefully it opens up things not only for the receiving corps and for Dak to throw the ball down the field, but of course for Zeke. And they have been talking for the last few weeks about not having a number one receiver. I think right now, if he can hold on to the ball, he's still one of the best route runners. He still is a threat down the field. He hasn't lost much speed, but he is the number one walking in the door for the Dallas Cowboys. This should open up the route tree. This should open up the passing game and things for Zeke as a runner.
It's exactly right. So he's a coverage dictator. He's a guy that, regardless of whether he's dropping the ball or he's not producing how people wanted him to produce, numbers-wise, he's still a guy that if he's on the field, he can run by you, straight by your one-on-one coverage. So you have to put a safety over the top, which takes the guy out of the box, takes the guy away from Zeke, and it makes their offense instantly better. So for the Cowboys, it's a good move.
It was just a couple of weeks ago that Jerry Jones went on radio in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and said, we haven't had a number one wide receiver in years, or a number one receiver in years. Yeah. By the way, to my knowledge, no Des Bryant tweets as of the last 3 hours. We will be checking that there. Flip it over to the Oakland Raiders.
All right, so that's what we got. But I want you to, all you guys that are saying that, man, we got to get a quarterback, got to go in the draft first round. I want you guys to take a look. I don't know if you noticed over in the corner there. Let me see if I can back it up enough and show you. Take a look at this. David Carr won the Super Bowl with the Giants. Well, he was on the bench. Eli won that Super Bowl. 11 seasons in the NFL, right? First overall pick in Houston. First overall pick. What do you do in the NFL? Nothing. There is no guarantee on quarterbacks. I don't care where you draft them. The question is, can you get somebody who can coach them up and somebody who can take the talent to the next level? He could have been a good quarterback, but unfortunately with the Houston Texans, they did not have coaches that could help him. And he literally got the crap beat out of him. Coaching matters, and that's the help that you need to get with Dak Prescott. Well, guys, I got to get to work. I got my day job. One last tad bit I'm going to leave you with here is, generally speaking, when you let somebody go coaching-wise or you make a change, it's during the bye week. Are the Cowboys done? I'm Mark Holmes. I'll see you guys soon.